Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm wrapping up my ultimate stock Clodbuster build. Yeah, I know the thumbnail says EVO. That's in response to Tamiya Lunchbox's release. I wish that Tamiya would come out with an EVO version for this truck. The following is what I think should be done to make it an EVO version. They need to improve the belt cranks to make the steering better. The manual needs to change on how the steering links from the servo horn connects to the bell cranks. 4 more scored throw on both ends. Give it a full ball bearing package. And finally replace the friction dampeners with oil-filled ones. If there's anything else you can think of, let me know in the comment section. For this build, I did all that except replace the friction dampeners for an aesthetic look of a vintage build. I did, however, replace the bell crank with an aluminum aftermarket version of the original. I've removed my previous Servo saver design and rigid aluminum bell crank to make it a true stock build. So this is what I had in there initially. And this is the Servo saver that I came up with. It collapses this way and pulls this way. So it's really stiff. A lot stiffer than what's in the front, but I'm using a stiffer spring though, so it'd have more resistance to be able to steer better at a standstill. Initially, I used silicone lube as lubricant between the bell crank halves, but the metal on metal rubbing felt rough. I switched to lithium grease, which is better lubricant for metal. I don't feel any friction. I kept my servo saver design for the rear because it's much stiffer, which makes the truck more stable and not squirrely when taking off, especially on pavement. I could put an aluminum version of on the rear as well, if my best friend so desire. The steering links are not per manual. This is what I mean. So for the front, normally, I think it's better view on this side. So normally the link is connected to the top of this bell crank, but I put it on the bottom, and normally the front is connected to the top horn of the servo saver, or of the servo horn, and then the bottom one connects to the rear. But yeah, you'll have a more squared for the front, but the rear would have been pointing up like that. So doing it this way, make it squared for both front and rear, giving it an even throw and improve the steering. I have a few videos testing the truck. They were shot before I put the decals on. Here's the assessment of the full turning radius. I know having a limited slip differential or LSD is supposed to make the cornering better, but in this case, maybe because the truck was going slow, the LSD might be acting more like a spool, which makes the steering worse. For further stability, the angle on the rear steering is reduced, so that didn't help any. Here's a short video of the LSD test. For what it's worth, I think it works quite well. Here's a quick look of what the LSD looks like. It's pretty much it's a Clodbuster gear, but it houses. This is a design from the TXT and Juggernaut differential, so it'll be using the Juggernaut or TXT gears on the inside, and then it'll have I'll put an O-ring on the channel right there, and then also in the hole right there and here to be able to hold thick liquid inside and limit the slip. Here's me just goofing around. I actually forgot to charge the battery fully before I started testing. I'm still impressed that she's able to do wheelies. I'm thinking of replacing the ESC because it doesn't have LiPo protection, but I talked to my best friend who's receiving this. He said this is pretty much going to be a shelf queen anyway, so I went ahead and just got him a NiCad battery to be able to enjoy this truck. I hope you enjoyed the video.